Hi, my name's Craig and this is my video on jazz rhythm guitar. Let's go ahead and get started. I got quite a few things to show you in the next hour. Let's get a tune note, okay? We've got E. One more time. And then we'll go ahead and give you an A. Okay, I'd like to tell you basically what we're going to cover in this video. I'm going to tell you some things I do with my techniques, like how I use a pick and don't use a pick to play rhythm. Mostly, a lot of times I don't use a pick, I use my thumb. Or I use the the claw technique of finger style plucking, okay? And I'm going to try to tell you the chords I'm using as I do things, and tell you why I use them. And I think what you'll notice from this, hopefully, is a portent toward smoothness. Also that voicings move around in chords, and instead of always being in search of unique newness, I think it's a lot finer to play with a consistency that will become unrivaled if you do it with dogged determination. So let's go ahead and get started, and we'll start with a blues in the key of A, and I'll just play what I'm playing, then I'll explain what I do. And I might stop in the middle of this, not really play all the way through, so that I can tell you what I'm doing. So I'll go ahead and start from the 3 minor descending. I descend normally, but you can't always lead people to do that when you're playing, and sometimes you have to do what they're doing. But the chords I was using were pretty straightforward. 3-note version of C sharp minor 7, a 13 flat 9 for F sharp, B minor 7 3-note version, and another E 13 flat 9, and then turn around and do it again. And I favor strongly dominant chords, as you can probably see, but I think most guys do. So I have an A13, then I turn into an A7 sharp 5, and we're working off of a non-root with an A bass note, because you can't call this a flat 5, this is really called a 7 sharp 11. So anyhow, we have and a conventional 9th chord inside 4, and the passing diminished chord, sharp 4, back to the A13, and again to the 7 sharp 5. Descension from 1, flat 7, 13s, all of them. And here we have the 6 dominant, and then we turn that, because we're having this voice leading thing, we turn that into a 7 sharp 5, then, and that's a B minor 9, and then we have another E13, make the voice crawl up again. You can do kind of a lot of different things there. Then then I was just doing the flat 3, 2, flat 2, dominant descension. Another nice thing for the blues is to do 1, flat 3, and then flat 6, major 9, whether you put the root in or you don't. And then really, of course, it becomes a flat 2, 6th chord, but you know, you'll know what the harmony's doing if you use it. And then to a flat 2 again, and then you're back. Now, another interesting thing you can do here is you can play this with a walking bass run, which is really cool. So we'll just go over the bass run, all right? First, A, E, E flat, D, D sharp, A, E, A sharp, F, A, again, E, descending to E flat, then D, A, D, D sharp, A, D sharp, E, A, G, D, D flat, G, G flat, C. Then you can stick this bass run in without any chords, but you don't have to. You can also play it on top of chords. It would be B, C sharp, D, D sharp, E, down to the, my voice dropped with it, to the low E. Then C. Yeah, then to a C right there. Then A, C, and using my little trick turnaround of F, B flat, then you're back. Now watch how this works with the chords. I'm sorry, let me do that again. Now, you notice that for my dominant chord there, let's see, let me do this again. You notice I use my thumb sometimes. That's an E9 sus, but you could also use an E13 flat 9. There's no root in that except for the E on the bottom. Then I'll elaborate on this part of the bass line a little bit more. A, that's G, descending G flat to F, then to the B flat, back to the F. And you don't have to play chords every time. If you want to play it really smooth, you might do it like this. Of course, then I'm using things like notice the thumb again, a B minor 9, kind of a permutated version of it. It's actually a D major 7 with a B in the bottom, and then that's a 7, flat 9, sharp 5. And you can play it without the E root if you want to have a lower, different sort of obtuse bass note. So. Let's just say you're not playing the walking bass run anymore because you've got a bass player, so you might use chord melody chords. Okay, so we'll examine that a little bit. An A13. Then we're using sort of a combination of a D9 sus or C major 7, if you will. And there we have another 13 chord, a D13 to a D9, and this is an A9. That where you turn it into I'd really call it an 11 chord for most of the fact that that's just what I think of it as. So and then I did kind of a thing that Wes used to do a lot, a G6, E minor 7, back to our A13, legit 7, sharp 5, and then to the 9 sus again, done on the inside 4. There's so many different things you can do there. That's sus 9, 13, another 13. It's just that we have the 9 on top there. So. And there, those were all 9s, A9, C9, B9, B flat 9, back to the A9. Now I'm using that finger style, so let's examine this a little bit. An A9, D13, and that's of course both 9th chords, A, B flat, A, and then we like that 2-5 to go into the 4, so there's many ways to do that. We could do on the inside 4 an E minor 7, a rhythm chord, the 7 sharp 5 again, and I don't use too many real 7th chords unless they're 3 noters, which I'll go over some of those in a little bit. But in this particular case, that one works all right, so we'll go here again. And that makes it real tasty when you do that. it's meant to be for the 4 chord, top of a sus9. It's really a C major 7, and that'll give you some idea of chord synonymous, you know, where you can actually play some portion of a, if you're playing lines. And then of course, here we have, this is a 9 sharp 11. There's no root in it, but the root would be right there. So it's a D9 sharp 11. So and then the 9's on top. 13 with the 9 on top, 13 again, and then we have the 9 again, and then we can go to this 9, and we can go to this for this F major 9, we can do an F6, and it's kind of a 7/6, so it almost qualifies as a major 13 chord. That might be probably what it really is. Anyhow, it's a beautiful chord. There's probably other ways to name it too. That's some form of a C, but the tonality really makes it hang on the F. So I call it an F major 13, I guess. Play this. This is a 7 sharp 11. That's what I call it. That's B flat. So let's check it out a little bit. I'll just play some of these things. I'm not going to do anything that I haven't already shown you, but just watch how smoothly you can do it. Flat 9 somewhere. I think that's right. Yeah, yeah, it is. Okay, now something that might come in real handy here is we could play the same type of blues. We're basically just going to go over the blues and some up things, and a little bit about ballads. Ballads are a shaky area for a lot of people. I know they are for me, especially if you do them with a singer who's a prima donna, and I've done that before. But the prima donna singer was really good. The one who wasn't a prima donna blew her in the weeds, but we lost her. Anyhow, okay, now, the thing that George Benson uses so well, octaves with either a major or a minor, have to think of them as parts of the chords you're actually using. So if we say wanted to intersperse some stuff that would really give us a chance to really be a sharp rhythm player, kind of a, if you will, the Errol Garner of guitar comping. So what you've got to learn to do that is you've got to learn to go okay, and the way that you do that is you understand how harmonized scale chords work. Whoops, excuse me. That's basically what you have to do. You have to know your scale. And that's as low as I can go to an E, okay, for the same blues thing we're doing. Breaks it up nice, and it allows you to play bluesy rhythm line without having to worry about your chord chops. And I learned this just from hearing them in context, just like I hope you're doing from what I'm showing you here. So. We're still working on blues for a little while because blues is everything, in my opinion. It makes or breaks whether you run with the big dogs or, you know, hang around the doghouse. Now, some other chord things you can use. I go into these somewhat in depth on my jazz triads and hot licks video level 4. But fourth chords comprised entirely of fourth intervals, and you can really move around because there's adjacent chords to the fourth chords that would allow you to go. Watch this. I made the same statement that I could have made with just two chords and sounded really hip no matter what time era of jazz you're talking about, because this is still concrete information. So I played whatever you want to call the chord. The notes, of course, are F sharp, B, and E, and A. And then to me, that's just the top side of a D minor 11. So, but I suppose you could look at it as a G9 sus. You certainly could, but that, you know, is pretty crazy. What would you do for a line across that? You probably do something based on sharp, G sharp melodic minor. But anyhow, then you can kind of switch off because other types of chords you can use that are really cool are we'll just call that an A7 sus. There's two A's in it, which I don't normally like duplicated notes, but this chord still sounds harmonically real, grabbing and string pulling. And then so you got things you can do to sub in while you're playing the blues. So the guys that are going to lead you into those fields are crazy sax players and you know, McCoy Tyner, Oscar Peterson type keyboard players. Just do like rock and roll guys do, just 3 chords. And then you can do okay, this is kind of crazy. And that will be smoother. What do you call it? I don't know. Call this what you want. Call that what you want, because it's just a minor 11, C minor 11 with an A on the top and no C. And this is essentially just another permutation of a B minor 11. But it's real cool for I'm sorry. That's too bizarre, so I'm not going to suggest that. And you can use triads to great length, especially straight up major and minor triads. That's kind of what you can do there. And all that stuff works with blues. One other thing, I would be remiss, even though it's on my jazz triads videos, another one you want to know for rhythm playing to be really cool is the major add 9 and the minor add 9s, and the fact that they turn into major 7s and minor 7s sometimes as well. Okay, that's an A major 7. That really qualifies as a B minor 7. That qualifies as a C sharp minor 7. So instead of going you can go, you can hold it over what they call a pedal tone too. You can turn all that crazy stuff right into the blues, and you can jump right out of the blues. We'll do that. We'll jump out of it into blues and then back into it. See how easy it works? Those little things where we go 13 chord, 13 chord, then to basically a minor 9 for the 2, but it's really also, of course, a D major 7. And you can play a flat 2 dominant 9, or a 13, or also use a 7 sharp 11, major 7 sharp 11. One thing too, when you're playing those kind of things, you may want to play up high and play lighter comping. So you'd be up here playing your A13s. Throw those little line things in there too, since if you're studying jazz rhythm, you're also probably studying jazz lines, and of course if you ever stop studying, then you're dead. So things like this. This is the D9. Okay, excuse me here. These, you can play it right here, A13, C13, and then F major 7, and B flat 13, and you're back to your A again. On that chord if it's a blues, the A13 flat 9. Actually, I think that's what it is. I guess it's not. It's an A. It's a 7, whatever it is. Okay. Now, in the next section, we'll go ahead and discuss a little bit about playing ballads and using more of minor chords for the dark tonality. Okay, well, I'm going to take a quick break and then we'll be right back. Okay. What I'd like to discuss here is about playing things in minor keys. So this would basically include ballads and all that kind of stuff, and so forth and so on. And I have to say hi to Ted, because Ted the dog is down here, and he's going to probably mess up this video. Okay, we can kind of talk based on things like a bossa, or blues. Basically, it's the type of chords you use. I, for one, don't subscribe to that would work cool under certain circumstances. This works good all the time, a regular inside 4 minor 9, but I would never use this. I just don't like it. I would much prefer to use the minor 7 this way, with the F triad and the D in the bass. And I will use the minor 7 this way though, because I like it. The one that uses a the triad from the second inversion of a major with the bass note in the bottom. In this case, a G minor 7 triad. I prefer probably the minor 6th chord because it's so dark and it's so minor, totally minor, if you will. this uses blues tricks, but at this particular time we're really playing a G minor 6, and that's what all of our C dominant and our our B flat major 7 and our C13 are doing for us. That's my standard thing that I do when I hear a minor, is I have okay, we're in D minor, so I have a D minor 6, D minor 11, E minor 11, and then a G13. Blues in minor or a bossa, you're still going to be doing the same thing if you're doing a bossa. A neat little thing you can do too right there is the inside 4 minor 7, which has 2 notes, which, like I say, I don't care for duplicated notes in chords, but in this particular case the chord stands up. Back and forth like a polka if you don't want to do. You can keep the root out right there. That's kind of the essence of what you do, no matter what the feel is, if you're using minors. Those are the only ones I use. The only other kind of thing I might do, let's just say if I was playing in B flat minor. say where you're just going. Kind of like a ballad. And if we switch it to a minor key, that's what we do. Okay, there's two ways to practice your chords, in my opinion. You can practice 2-5-1, and your 5 chord becomes a new 2 chord for the next set. I'll illustrate that as best I can right here. We'll just say start in F. So that's a formula for practicing chords, no matter what the tempo, no matter what the feel, when you're in a major or a minor key. Let's try it in major. Nice chord, but real uncomfortable to put the thumb over like that. Anyhow, your 2 chord, each 2 chord after you start out comes from your old 5. So 2, 5, in this case C, and then 2, 5, 1. The 5 was F. And that's amazing how how that E flat major 9 without a root sounds, you know, essentially like an E flat 6, which of course your resolutions become 2 minor, dominant something, 1 major 7 or 9. That's where you can use the major 13. So I call it a major 13. Anyhow, you can use it in there all you want. Now, if you're playing ballads, then essentially you've got to be able to be a little bit fluid and move off of just hammering chords. have to remember if you're practicing in cycles not to play the wrong 2 chord. Although it's not a super big deal. Now, another thing to consider when you're playing ballads, you can play that's kind of a tricky deal right there. I would say you approach it from the major one above it. So you see how that sounds 2-5-1. Stuff you can do with those triads. To good advantage all the time. It probably wouldn't be too bad of an idea here to recap a few things. Okay, I say that the inside 4 chords all rule in rhythm. Your 9ths, your major 7s, your 13s, your dominant 13s with 9ths on them, altered 7th chords, because that's essentially a 13 flat 9, the 6th, and the see, where is it? Okay. Boy, I get so screwed up every once in a while on these. Okay, there's the flatted 7th on the bottom, and the 6th. That's what makes it a 13 chord. 7 plus 6 equals 13. And you might already know this if you're seeking this kind of knowledge at this level, but I'm just reinforcing it. Anyhow, the chords with 6-string roots, major 7, major 6, minor 7, minor 6, and they all, of course, in certain forms become synonymous chords. This, besides being an A minor 6, is really a D9 without the root. But those are the type of chords I like to use. 6-string roots, inside 4s. accepted by the two guys who count when you're playing rhythm. The sax or trumpet players or the pianists. And those are the only guys you have to be accepted by. Guitarists are never going to accept you. They're always going to be jealous because that's the way guitar players are. Unless they're like me. You know, I'm looking for somebody that I can learn from. And they're around, but not in my town. Anyhow, and then on the first four strings, so the first four chords rule, and you can really use the same chords for all the types of music you do, and all you're going to wind up doing is sounding like yourself, which is what you want to do. You don't want to sound like anybody. And if you do sound like anybody, either sound like Wes, George Benson, or Pat Martino. And there's a lot of other good guys too. I mean, you know, gosh. I have a friend in Kansas City named Danny Embry who knew all this stuff before I even found it. And I can't even think about how good he might be now. But just like I say, recapping fourth chords, top side of minor 11s, 7 sus chords, and minor and major add 9s. So the first four strings, and also the minor and major add 9s, the fourth chords. And you can do almost anything with those chords. And then the inside fours. There's the rare occasion when I'll use a straight minor 7 on the inside 4, but I'll never play this chord. I don't know why, it just grates on me. And most of the guys I know who are jazz guitarists that are good. And then the other one, the one that we don't want to forget about, the added, the octaves with the sixths, major or minor, inside of them. And just remember, they come really from making your major and minor chords rootless. You just take out the two A's. About all the alterations to the dominant chords that you can do. this lesson was not intended to be a chord lesson, just about how to play rhythm smooth. You've got to have that feel. That's it. Until next time. I hope you enjoyed this. I hope you can learn something from it. If you have any questions, you can email me, Craig@videoguitar.com, and I'll answer your questions or find somebody who can. All right. Have a nice day and say la vie.